All right, so there you have it. That is the GT Aggressor Pro with the 180 millimeter rotors on there. $13.99 each at the local bike shop in Hot Springs. And look how good those look. Now, I did have that little difficulty back here because it was a front adapter, but I went ahead and got that fixed. It wasn't a big deal. I need a bike stand.
Get off my hand!
Tomatoes! Wolf Tick Nation, thank you guys for tuning in to once again another Wolf Tick Videos episode.
This ain't no Veronica Corningstone.
No Veronica Corningstone, but let me tell you guys something. This here is the Park Tool PCS 9.3 home bike repair stand. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, I probably don't need a bike stand. All I do is I flip my bike over. I mess with my gearing a little bit. You know, I'm not a mechanic.
You used to do that.
Yeah, I used to do that, guys. I have been through some crap with trying to come up with some sort of bike repair stand, right?
The old days.
A savior of ours, Kevin H., one of our patrons, said, you know what, guys? You guys need a new bike stand. So, guys, on today's episode, we're going to be breaking into this thing.
I think he was watching the Patreon video where you were talking about it going to break because of the fork, and I was arguing with you and all that.
Yeah, we do a lot of initial impressions. You guys all know that with e-bikes and regular bikes, and e-bikes can get pretty heavy. This thing is supposed to hold up to 80 pounds.
Yeah.
It's the PCS 9.3, or is it going to be the POS 9.3?
I doubt it. It's Park Tools. I'm sure it's going to be decent. I mean, for us, this is going to be a really expensive.
Wait. So we're going to
$219. I think the retail on this.
Yeah, we're going to put together. We're going to take a look at it and see, is it worth it? Kevin H., thank you so much. Oh, I can't wait. Man, here we go. Okay, you got the famous Park Tool blue, nicely packaged. All right, golly, that blue looks really good. And something that's interesting with this, guys.
I think we're kind of a blue fan.
Yeah, something I like about this is it's not just rounded tube. You can actually see there's some add rigidity there with that point. You see that? It's like a spine. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Got a little bit of directions here. All right, and some hardware. This right here looks pretty beefy. Wow. Okay, so that's something I'm saying I'm not too crazy about right off the bat. This here is almost like a hard plastic, so that just worries me about possibly getting scratched. You know, it's where it's going to be clamping your seat post or your top tube, depending on the bike.
That's a little. Is there nothing that goes
a little rough? I mean, it might be. I don't know. This here looks like the legs. All right, let's get zoomed out here, and we'll start putting this thing together. Alright guys, well we got it all assembled, and I can say it does come with its own tools, but these have got to be the most miniaturist of tools I've ever seen.
Miniaturist?
That's a word, yeah. Very small tools, so if you guys have some other tools on hand, you might want to use those.
Park Tools would come with some decent tools.
Yeah, anyway, so that's some flimsy stuff, but we got it all put together using that and a couple of other tools that we've got here at the shop. Now, first thing I want to say is this bike stand does feel very stable. We've got the Kakuka e-bike back there. It weighs how much?
Like 40-something. It's one of the lightest e-bike. It's the lightest e-bike we have.
Yeah, it's the lightest, but that thing is still pretty heavy, so I want to kind of break it in with that bike. We're going to do a little see how stable it is test here in a second. I want to talk about some likes and some dislikes. Now, it does have the 360 spin feature here, right? So it does spin 360 degrees, which I do like, because sometimes working on cranksets or working on wheels, sometimes you have to kind of kilter it this way or kilter it that way.
Bleeding brakes.
I got the bleed block in the rear caliper right now. Exactly, I was just going to say, or bleeding brakes. So that is a nice feature, right? Another thing that I really like about this so far is this handle back here. You would think that this is the kind that has to lock it in, almost like a quick release style that you're used to with a lot of budget bike stands. It almost has a vice style feel to it, where you can bring it up here, get some leverage, crank it the other way, get some leverage, and I like that because the plastic feels pretty tough, and I mean, it's pretty stable in there. Now the adjustability knob, I see this being a big problem whenever you have a bike on there. Now a lot of the times here at Wolftick videos when I'm working on bikes, I want to unscrew it, and I kind of want to raise it up to wherever it's going to be great to show the camera, or bring it back down a little bit, and I can see this being a high wear item just because, or an area, because there's going to be so much friction on there. Now probably, you probably shouldn't be adjusting your bike as you go while it's on here, but you know, we have to film and show you guys all the footage and different shots of bikes, so it's kind of important that it has an area that I can actually lift up.
Not everybody's a YouTuber
and lower it. So that might be a little bit of an issue here. Now we talked about this a little bit earlier, and these here are the only, I guess, rubber pads or hard plastic pads that come with this for the clamp area. And I am worried about that because some bikes have dropper posts on them, and I really don't want to clamp this on a dropper post seat post. I like to usually use the top tube. So I'm a little curious on that. Yeah, I'm going to have to be extremely careful with it because I just don't want to scratch it. And there's no give, so if I accidentally tighten this too much, you might, you know, maybe might dent the frame a little bit. Now, something that this bike stand doesn't offer, it doesn't have any type of tray or anything about it, right? There's no tool tray or any kind of mounting around this while you're working on the bike. That is a nice feature that I see.
You could probably add something.
I think you can add stuff to it, but there's not one on here. So most of the time when I'm working on a bike, I usually have a little stand by the side of me where I can actually mess with my tools. So this one not having a mount area for it's not a big deal, but it would be kind of something nice, especially for the price is what, $220?
Yeah,
you know,
in there.
The price range you expect a little bit extras, right? But the thing does feel very stable, and there's not a lot of wobble to it. Now you guys seen the dimensions on the floor. It measures 4 foot wide by 3 foot long on the floor, and that is a really cool design with this area because this gives you room to actually walk around it, only being two-legged, right? A lot of the bike stands out there, especially these days, you see more of the budget style, they have like 4 legs, and that just takes up a lot of floor room. So if you guys don't have a crazy amount of floor room, this bike stand's actually, you know, pretty decent. I think so with the measurements. Now this thing also is foldable, so if you guys don't have the biggest of areas, again, you can probably just fold it up and put it in the corner somewhere, and that's what we do here because we've got so many bikes. But yeah, so that's kind of just the overall initial impressions of it. Let's loosen this here. We're going to turn it, right? And I like it. We can turn that thing all the way around. So we're going to turn it here about 90 degrees, and we're going to put that Kakuka e-bike on here, and let's see if it's stable. 45-pound bike, right around there. And this thing is very back heavy because it's got that hub drive. Okay. So first test on it. Let's see here.
Not used to doing it this style.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
That was a lot. One-handed. Well, two-handed. Anyway, so it seems to be pretty stable. And I mean, look at that. There's plenty of room to pedal, right? Plenty of room to pedal. This clamp is actually, it feels really good tightening it, right? There's a lot of leverage on this clamp. So you can feel it making contact with the seat post tube. I like it. And I mean, this thing feels, it looks to be pretty damn stable. So we have yet to work on the bike on this thing, but it's holding about a 45-pound e-bike that is very rear heavy, right? This thing is, and there's really no wobble here. Check that out.
Well, you have it balanced pretty good right there by the seat post, I think.
Yeah. So let's do this. Let's see if I can loosen this thing. Right. It's probably going to swing down. All right. Let's see if I want to stop it there, say. Yeah, I like having that little leverage. Okay.
Okay.
It's holding it pretty good. You know, it's pretty heavy in the back. Okay.
Is it $220 cool? If you had to, I mean, first of all, we're lucky to have the support we have. So to us, it's great. But if you were out to buy one, is it $220 cool so far?
I'm going to say this. This is a tool that is very nice to have in the shop. You don't have to have one, but if you plan on doing some builds or if you plan on working on your own bike, you kind of need one. You know, you don't really want to be working on your bike while it's upside down all the time like some of you guys do out there. So I'm going to say I think this is $220 nice. Kevin H., thank you so much, man, for helping support the channel. And yeah, this thing is going to be seen in every video probably from here on out. So appreciate that very much.
Might have to sell some real estate on there for stickers or something.
I know. We might have to start selling some spots. Anybody interested? You own a business? Let us know. You know, we'll start out with $50 a spot. All right. So Wolftick Nation, appreciate you guys watching. As always, please like this video. It's going to need some help. You know, it's been a while since we've done just a product video. So, you know, show it some love, tell your friends about it. But guys, we will see you on the next one. Park Tools, PCS 9.3. It's not a POS.
That we don't think it is, at least.
Yeah, we don't think it is, at least. All right, so after taking the e-bike off there, we just noticed is it already has a divot in the plastic clamp. I wonder if we can get some rubber. I mean, it's probably going to be a safe bet to say let's go ahead and put a rag on there whenever we work on this thing.
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah, that looks pretty rough there.